Hi, I'm LP Master 6, and welcome back to Mario Kart 64. We are doing the Star Cup and probably Special Cup of 100cc today in this video. Of course, it's all today for me, this whole first sitting. Yeah, I've been sitting here for a minute listening to Mario say, okay, over and over. It's infuriating. It's driving me insane. So I want you to experience it with me for a second. Did he just say it again and I talked over it? I think so. Whatever, we're good. Let's go. Woo! I'm pumped up. And we are doing Wario Stadium as Wario. So here we go. Let's get that rocket start. And we didn't. Oh well. Another secret gameplay element I can talk about is the... it doesn't really have a name. It probably does in the Mario Kart 64 speedrunning community. But whenever you spin out, triple tap A and then hold it to accelerate faster. Specific characters get a faster boost from it. The lightweight characters get the fastest boost, and Bowser. For whatever reason. I don't know why. But it's cool that the characters have a lot of differences. But, are you guys sad? Comment if you're sad Donkey Kong Jr. doesn't come back. I'm not that upset about it. It's the only reason he was included over Donkey Kong in the first place, the developers said, in Super Mario Kart was because 1992 was the 10-year anniversary of the game Donkey Kong Jr., so they thought, why not include him? I feel like there could have been cooler choices. I can see why they got rid of him and Koopa Troopa for these characters. They could have just had 10 characters, though. And just left in Donkey Kong Jr., right? I feel like that would have been cool and acceptable. But oh well. Man, oh, this course is hard on the faster difficulties. But it makes me want to play Excite Bike 64. Oh, that feels so good. Shells are always at an awful angle, so it's so satisfying to use one in this game. Also, I don't know why the smoke isn't E. Originally, they weren't going to have any feedback, visual feedback if you pulled off the mini turbo correctly, but they thought it would be better to like give the players a cue. Plump. Also, it's an underrated onomatopoeia. Woo! No, get your act together. Hold on, I gotta get my act together. Okay, I checked my notes for stuff to say. Is it sad I have to do that? I just like neat facts, you know? And this is a pretty short game, so I can't really spread them out all that much. But there was originally in development going to be a no items mode. That was, of course, not the default. But nobody ever tried it when they demoed the game. Not once. So they cut it out. I don't know why they cut it out, because it was kind of harmless for it to be there, right? Of course, memory was limited on these cartridges. And that made things difficult to develop. Another reason a lot of third-party companies went with Sony over Nintendo this generation. A lot of those partnerships Nintendo would never recover from. The losses of their partnerships and then other people making partnerships with Sony. But that's okay, because I only play mostly first and second-party Nintendo games anyway. That and The Sims. And Nintendo lost that partnership in their glory days. For whatever reason. Stupid EA. Okay, we're not getting into that right now, though. Oh, I did it! I'm gonna do that every time. Oh, boy. Oh, there's the screen. I knew there was one here. Oh, I've screwed up. It is very easy to hit yourself with a green shell in this game and have it ricochet. And that's actually good sometimes to hit yourself with a shell. Because it'll give you enough height to get over a wall and skip most of the track. You should seriously watch a speedrun with skips allowed. It's amazing. I mean, you saw the Frappe Snowland track skip that even I did. If I can do it, you can do it, I promise. So give some of these a shot in your spare time. I think I'm going to give some a shot in between the single player recordings and the multiplayer recordings, because God knows when I'm going to be able to set that up. Oh, my back hurts. But yeah, no items mode would have sucked. It was to appeal to F-Zero players that they even tried to include it in the first place. But of course, screw F-Zero, I guess, right? We did not get an F-Zero game for the launch. Which feels weird because the launch games for the Nintendo 64 were Mario 64 and Pilot Wings 64. And the launch games for the SNES were Mario World and Pilot Wings and F-Zero. So why? Whatever. Mario 64 and Pilot Wings 64 are good enough to make up for it. Especially because original Pilot Wings isn't all that great. It's okay, it's fine. Again, we'll get there on the channel one day. Is it weird that that for some reason this game makes me want to play Pilot Wings 64? A game I never played or owned until it came to NSO, Nintendo Switch Online. But man, that is a good game. There are nothing but good games in the Nintendo 64 collection and the Game Boy Advance selection on the Switch. So please, everybody, check those out. Oh, I didn't realize he hit me. I thought I hit him. And at the last second, I saw the banana still behind me. You bastard. Anytime I say you bastard, it reminds me of when my niece was really little, my eldest niece. I think I was in junior high, so she would have been, like, I don't know, 3 or 4? Probably 3. She came up to me. She knocked on my door to my room, because she did that several times a day wanting to play with me. And I feel so badly. I wish I could go back in time and just not be so depressed, because I would have spent more time with her. We spent a lot of time together as it is, but she was lonely. There was nobody else in the family her age that lived nearby. And she was mean to other kids anyway, but she was, you know, we always had the best relationship. She was the best man at my wedding. That's another story. The best men at my wedding. But she was the best man at my wedding. And she walked up to me and knocked on my door, and I opened it, and she said, "You will give me back my starfish, and and you took my red balloon. You will give them back or else," or something like that. And I said, "I have your starfish, and you will never get back your red balloon." And she said, "You bastard!" And then my mom said, "Emma!" So I've always wanted to put out a music album named The Starfish and the Red Balloon, because I just thought that sounded so great. But I guess... No! Oh, son of a bitch! The last second. Ugh. So frustrating. But you do look pretty cool when you're in, you know, Boo form, I gotta say. Also, Wario's voice clips, I need to let you listen to them because they're too good. There is no sound test in this game, which is abysmal, because you should be allowed to listen to the voice clips whenever you want while you're playing the game. Oh no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. Oh. I had to drink up, I'm sorry. But the best man at my wedding. So I didn't know who to make my best man, because I had a falling out. I had the start of a falling out with a friend of mine who used to appear on the channel a lot, Cole. We were still friends, still very good friends. With and then before the wedding, after I even planned it and everything, we had something that made us grow further apart, and then something that ended our friendship entirely. But I won't, you know, bring that up publicly. But it wasn't anything just petty, I promise. He did something I found unforgivable, and is not sorry about it anyway, so I don't associate with him anymore. And that is that. Also, I've got to show off that you can drive up to Peach's castle on this track, and that's the coolest thing in the entire game. Hands down. No exceptions. But we'll be doing that more later. I'm going to mess around on the tracks a lot, because there's a lot of cool stuff you can do that I really don't want to do because I'll lose the track. Lose the race, I mean. And a lot of skips maybe I'll try to show off in time trials or multiplayer. like you can drive on the train tracks and go in the tunnel in Calamari Desert, which, by the way, what does it have to do with squid? It's a really cool name. Really neat track that has always stuck in my brain. It's unforgettable. Just that train in the desert and the song. Oh, I already ranted about it. We're not even on that track right now, so I need to shut up. Also, this is the best place in the game right here. If an enemy is over this pit, use the lightning. Oh, it's so good. Really sets them back until they rubber band up to you. But again, with human players, you know, game's a lot more fun. But I am going to complete the single player to do everything imaginable. Alright. Oh, I was talking about my wedding. That's right. So I was at a standstill. I didn't really have a best friend when I started planning my wedding after I proposed to my wife. We had 2 roommates, and then we had Galen as a roommate. But I wanted it to be a longer standing friend than Galen be the best man. So I eventually realized my niece. I wanted my niece to be the best man. She had been my most consistent best friend. You know, it was a nice gesture, you know, because we were like siblings, except I was way closer with her than my siblings. Not to say I wasn't close with my siblings, because you know, we've always had good relationships for the most part. And I only have 2 sisters, and we have a pretty nice family. Pretty nice family. Like, that's an endearing way to word it. But my commentary is cracking me up today. I don't know why I'm, like, wording things in the ways that I am. But then I realized, you know, over the course of leading up to the wedding, I was really close with Grant. We worked together. We were co-managers. That's what we like to do on our Pizza Hut shifts. We carpooled. We lived together for a good while. So I thought I should make him the best man and make my niece the best woman. But I proposed this idea to my niece. And she said, you know, best woman sounds like a lesser honorary title. I want to be best man. And I say, okay, that's your decision. You know, you're the best man. It's done. But so I told Grant he can be best man too. And then a couple weeks later, my mom comes up to me while my dad's in the bathroom and I'm visiting them and says, your dad's wondering when you're going to ask him to be best man. And I was like, what? Oh, look how stupid that is. Why do we spin out from a bush? At least when you have a star, you can destroy trees and bushes and stuff. I was going to show it there, but we were not at the best angle for it. Also, I don't know the standings. Oh, God. I don't know if we have to win or what. There's no way to check the standings in the middle of a race, or if you lose. Also, there are more thwomps depending on the difficulty. And you may have noticed that thwomp back there in the cell. There was a thwomp in jail. He doesn't look sad or anything, but he's more green because of the lighting. So, the fan base for years, I think since the 90s, has been calling him Marty the Thwomp. And there were rumors that even got printed in magazines of how you can free Marty. And some even as really fake mock-ups where you can play as Marty the Thwomp as an unlockable character. And I always thought those were really, really cool. This was the golden age of social video gaming, in my opinion, because I don't play a lot of multiplayer online stuff. So it's like even single-player games were multiplayer back in this day, you know? Not to say they aren't now, but like, now you just have the internet for hints a lot of the time. It still feels good when a game comes out and you can really talk about it, like, oh, did you know you could do this? Like with your friend. Like even like the other day, Galen telling me, didn't you know you could break over a banana peel to not spin out in this game? And that just felt so good. That's what felt good about my Pokemon Let's Play. I think that's in my top works. Not that I have that much good stuff, but all the audience input, Galen's input, the fact it's going to run over the course of multiple Let's Plays, I think that's awesome, and I'm really excited about it. But we're never going to finish talking about my wedding. So I was like, oh, this is really awkward because I don't want my dad to be a best man, you know? Because my father and I have had differences over the years. He has been the cause of several of my cats and dogs' deaths, and he is heartless in that way toward animal rights. and he never paid attention to anything I wanted to do. And anything he ever did for me was, I mean, not anything. That's an exaggeration. A lot of the things he did for me were because he wanted me to get into something that I was clearly not into. And, you know, so we had some disagreements. Only very few, like, actually vocally. Most of them were just passive-aggressive from me to him, and he didn't notice. I once gave him the silent treatment for a week. He didn't notice. We had full conversations where I didn't say a word. This was after he killed one of my cats, of course. But I'm not trying to spread negativity about my dad. That was a long time ago. We have since made up for the most part. Until he told me to let my cat die, or else he would take back co-signing my car. But, okay, that's not the story. You know, we had a great relationship at the time, so I was like, you know what? I'll tell him he can be a best man. I was like, so I told him, I've already asked 2 people to be my best man, so you can be a best man. I didn't know people asked their dads. And I thought it was a good symbol of how far, you know, we had come. I'm gonna win. So good. A symbol of how far my relationship with my father had come, that I asked him to be the best man. And so that was nice. Oh, now it's time for Special Cup as Bowser. Ooh, I'm scared. Hold on, I want to see our trophy. Yes. The trophies are a little ugly here, I'm going to be honest. So my dad kept saying, you're going to let me, like, over and over. He would call me and say, you're going to let me stand next to you in the wedding, right? And I'd say, no, Emma is the best man. Yeah, this is the track that lags the most. You should see it in multiplayer. But, he finally accepted that he was going to be second to his granddaughter, which he should have been fine with, right? And then, you know, I let him stand in front of Grant. He said, please, at least let me be second. He begged me. He said, that'll be humiliating. Don't make me stand behind one of your friends. And I said, okay, fine. So basically, Grant was the secret best man. My father was the best man for show, and the true best man was my niece. Oh, that felt so good just now. And, oh, the coconuts, they look very spiky. The coconuts hit you and push you back on the track if you go off course. They also slow you down, though, so keep that in mind. They're not a good tool that you actually want to utilize for going off course. That felt so good, too. Oh, my God. Bowser is not a bad character at all. I think he's better in this game than in any other Mario Kart. I especially hate playing as the heavy characters in Super. But they're okay-ish in Super Circuit. Oh, well, no, don't talk about future games right now. But in the wedding, so at the wedding, the photographer would be like, okay, I need the best man. My father pushed all my friends out of the way and said, me, I'm the best man. And he told everybody, went around telling everybody he was the best man. It made me feel kind of sad for him, like he was insecure about it, you know? But that was his granddaughter. I feel like he shouldn't have been insecure about it, but he was. And then during the wedding ceremony, he pried the ring box out of my niece's hand because he wanted to be the one to give me the rings. He handed the box back to my niece, or handed the rings back to my niece to pass them to me. But you could see it in the wedding video. Her face, it's priceless. I didn't notice until she told me later. But man, the man bullying his own granddaughter. But, and then of course, my friend Cody, he just told me today I'm going to be his best man. I stole a boo with the boo. Thanks. He just told me today he wants me to be his best man. He didn't want to cause any issues with his other friends, who are also my friends. David is one of them. He's been on the channel quite a bit. So I was going to be his, fake best man, while his son was his best man, his 2-year-old. But he decided just to let his son be the ring bearer and let me be the best man. I didn't even realize that was the last lap. Oops. But that guy, before he went to rehab, good old Cody, showed up and walked. He didn't go to rehearsal. He walked down the aisle at the wrong time, stoned out of his mind on meth and heroin, and stood in the wrong spot. So poor Grant, who I originally asked to be the best man aside from my niece, stood fourth in line next to me at my wedding. Poor Grant. But that's the story of how my best man went at the wedding. I hope you enjoyed it, because it took a long time for me to tell it. I haven't even shown any of the paths except this one. In 150cc, I normally don't take that path because it's a lot harder to pull off. It is shorter. There are 4 paths you can take at the beginning there. Once you get on this section, of course. How did you get in first? For those who don't know about drifting, the developers were so excited about this control stick because they were like, yes, this control stick is perfect for drifting. Which, yeah, it is pretty good for it. Oh, that felt good. Why do you say yippee? What was he happy about? I knocked him off the side, brutally, which is something Bowser is very good at doing. I don't know how to do the skip here, and I don't think I'll be able to pull it off, by the way. Yoshi Valley, not Yoshi Valley, this is Yoshi Valley. DK's Jungle Parkway, which we were just on, has an amazing skip where if you go in the tunnel, like, you know, with the loop where you can go off-road, and it's pretty useful, surprisingly. It has a skip where you can go through the floor and at just the right angle clip through a bunch of stuff and end up it changing laps for whatever reason. Yeah, I definitely won't be able to pull that off. You have to have the perfect angle. But I'm okay with that, because that's not such a hard track, especially because it's slower. Lag is a good thing in a precision game. Not with multiple human players, but you know. Oh, my eye's starting to hurt. Alright, what video is this? 4? No, no, no! Oh, God! This is the worst track in the game to fall off the side. There we go. Oh, no. My God. On the last lap, too. We played perfectly until the last lap. What place are we in? It is hard to tell, but if I pay attention to the mini-map, which is a bad idea because I'm driving, but I look at maps while I'm driving in real life all the time because I'm a delivery driver, so I'm okay. I'm a professional. Nobody tell my local traffic enforcement that, please. Not really. I'm okay. Don't worry about me. What is this? What rank are we? We're third, I think. It looks like we're third. I'll take it. It's okay. Is this the second? Oh, this is the second track, and next is Banshee Boardwalk, and we're playing it as Bowser on a higher speed than before. And you saw how poorly I did on it before. Ugh, that's not good. Alright, we need more neat facts. I talked about myself long enough. Whew. The cut tracks! Those are fun. Okay. There was a track that was a multi-level parking garage. That acted just like a parking garage, but because you had to spin around it like so much, it made people feel sick. So they got rid of it. There are only a few assets related to that still in the game's code. Signs for it were developed, but there's no actual like full remnants of it in the code or anything. Damn it! Oh, I'm so bad at this track. If I do not get second or higher, I don't think I should even continue. Oh my God. Ugh. But the other cut track I feel like is even cooler. And you don't hear about this very much compared to the parking garage one. I saw that in a million interviews. This one was called Town, tentatively, in the game's code. And it was a big city where people would make really long laps and weave through buildings and stuff, and there were city streets, and the minimap actually, instead of showing all the drivable terrain, was actually a map of the town streets, which was really cool and complicated. It was cut for being too complicated and too time-consuming, I think. I'll check my notes right now, actually. Why not? The town had, quote... Oh, no. Cut that out. The track town, quote, with a castle and a nice pond where you got to race around all these different houses and buildings, end quote, was cut for being too large and too time-consuming. So not too confusing, too large and time-consuming. Also cut, but fully, no, maybe it wasn't fully finished, I can't remember, in the game, is AI for, code for the computer players to drift. Luckily, they cannot drift. I don't want them to be any more difficult than they already were. I could have sworn I hit that banana, but okay. I'm not gonna complain. Alright, don't even need to hit you. Beautiful. Boost, get out of the face. Get, get out of the face. Come on, come on, come on. Yes. Oh, man. Second. I'll take second. I'm perfectly okay with second. We just have to keep it that way. No, no, no. Oh. Okay, okay. I'm really nervous here. I don't actually know if 100cc counts as beating the game. I think that might be 150. So I was about to say we're on track to beating the game, but we got to be careful. Those are not swoops or swoopers, whatever, from Mario World. Those are bats, generic bats. No, 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 no. Okay, I hit Z instead of braking, which was an even worse idea. Oh, okay, okay. My hands are sweaty. My hands are sweaty. Every Let's Play for the past, like, 6, I've talked about how my hands are sweaty during it. That's probably because it's summer. And I have to turn my fan off to record. And we keep it 75 in the house right today. Normally 77, which is insanely hot. But we get used to it, and it feels pretty good. So, saves money and everything. Oh, this song's so good. Oh! Oh, we're ahead. Okay. We just have to beat Mario. And get at least third, probably? Alright, and now, while we're on Rainbow Road again... no, you'll hear the music plenty. Let's talk about some scrapped items. Also, 100cc and higher, you leave the ground on that section. That's also the section where you can skip a good portion of the track. Okay. Also, another thing that makes the track easy is the computers are terrible at dodging. You know, anything, and the chomps are especially hard to dodge, so they're not good at doing anything on this track. Because there's no sick turns for them to make. Also, I don't like getting a golden mushroom here. I also don't like how I can hear how loud that is through my headphones, like, insanely well. My button mashing, I mean. But the rah 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 is nice. Okay. See, I've had the most obnoxious laugh today. Why? Also, oh, the neon lights are so good. The stars. There's nothing below us. It's just all space. This is cool. Again, I prefer the SNES track. That's my second favorite track in the series. But this is probably my third. Not this iteration, but a version of it. And I am now hungry. My wife promised stir fry for dinner, and I am excited. Because our version of stir fry is just shove healthy things into a pan and cook them, and most of it's canned, and well, we do use some good spices, though. Get out of here, Mario, please. Oh, the scrapped items. Now, I already talked about the Yoshi egg. That wasn't implemented far into the code. Also, the animation for the shell is actually really good. More frames than you'd expect. That is not fair. How would I have seen that? Alright, we're zooming out from now on. There was also an item that was 6 marble-looking things. Nobody knows what they do. So... that was completely left unfinished, but not. This one had the most code out of the unused items, aside from the feather, of course, which I already went over. But unused new items, I mean. a 10-ton weight, or, well, just a weight, but it had 10T on it, you know, like in cartoons. That would presumably add a chain and a ball and chain to the player's cart and weigh them down, making them slower for a little while. But that code was pretty unfinished. Damn it. Oh, it's okay. We're doing pretty well. Oh my god, I've never been more out of key, off key in my life. I almost said out of tune. That's what I that's why I said out of key. I was going to say out of tune. Like a person. See, this is too zoomed out for me. Like, Bowser is tiny on the screen right now. But I guess if I got used to it, I'd like it. So maybe we'll stick with this for a while. Hello? Get out of here. Stop. See? Look at that rubber banding in real time. It's so bad. That's all I'm going to talk about this whole playthrough, I'm telling you. We still got 150cc to go, but this is taking far less time. This is a much shorter game than Super Mario Kart. But the multiplayer, I will say, is better. A lot of people say Super Mario Kart had the best battle mode. I disagree. I think 64 has a better battle mode. It might be in the top... It might be the second best in the series, but I don't know. I feel like the most recent battle mode beats it out. And I haven't played it enough in years. I've played it once in the past, like, 10 years to really know. But we'll be playing it extensively. There are 4 battle tracks. And they're much more inventive. Not that much more so, but much enough more so than the ones in the first game. And the 3D perspective really helps way more than the top-down looking perspective. Because that really didn't look too great in the first game. For battle, at least. It did for the main mode. But it just felt like battle mode was kind of an afterthought. A decent afterthought, but an afterthought. Man, I gotta pee. For the next video, I am going to do that. That's another thing I've said in all of my past, like, 6 Let's Plays. Whew. But you'll notice, we've been playing more SNES still than 64. This is our second Nintendo 64 game. There's like 2 a year for a while that we'll be doing on the channel. At least I think there's only 2 in 97, maybe 3. No, I think it's 4 actually, if you include a game I haven't fully decided on yet. You know, the Mario 64 Shindo Pactao version. We're shockingly far ahead, I just noticed. It's just good for talking, but I have nothing to talk about. I'm 25. I'm a delivery driver. I'm happily married. I own my own house. Life is great. And I am finally, I think, going to beat out my obsessive-compulsive issues. Also, you can't launch a red shell behind you, which kind of sucks if you're in first. But I guess I can kind of get why, because it's a little unfair. My hand smells like sweat, but I might start playing games out of order. For those who've been watching me, I've been playing for the past 2 years almost the Switch games from release date that I own, instead of new Switch games, because I just can't. I have to. I feel like I have to because of my OCD. But I think I'm finally going to push myself to beat it soon. And, of course, I'm still going to put them in a specific order. Don't worry about that, but we'll see. And I'm happy for myself. Right now I'm playing Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair, and I was playing that during the Super Mario Kart Let's Play. And that was December of 2019. I got it for Christmas. I think I beat it by the time I recorded the multiplayer. Oh yeah, because I talked about Christmas in the bonus video, I think. I skimmed that Let's Play this morning to remember how I dealt with it. And it was pretty good. It was better than I remembered. Even the multiplayer was better than I remembered. I remember Galen complaining about it a lot, but no, we had a good time. He didn't have the best time. He doesn't ever want to play it again, he said, but, you know, it was a good video. Hopefully this is as good. I'm harping on the past, so who knows? Probably not. We didn't have any trouble in any of the cups in the first 2 difficulties. That feels good. And nope, that still doesn't count as beating the game. Wow. Okay. Next time, we will be doing 150cc. I'm LP Master 6.